New spoilers for Emmerdale reveal major developments next week as the Dingles make an important decision, while Joe Tate continues plotting against them. However, Graham Foster begins to suspect that something is not right. This week, viewers watched Moira Dingle sell Butler's farm to the Tate family after Joe interfered to ensure the deal went through. Cain Dingle was far from pleased with his wife's decision, but Moira felt she had no other choice as she wanted to secure her family's future while she remains in prison for a double murder she did not actually commit. Following the sale of the farm, Joe appointed Robert Sugden as the new tenant farmer. This means the Sugden family will once again be working the land. Despite this, Joe's schemes appear far from over. As Robert and his fiancée Aaron Dingle settle into the farm, and the Dingles start thinking about creating their own new farm, Joe turns his attention toward Lydia Dingle. Meanwhile, Cain reluctantly moves back into the Dingle household after living elsewhere for years. Soon, he and the rest of the family begin to grow suspicious when Joe unexpectedly arrives and apologizes to Lydia for recent events. He also offers her a pay rise, a move that raises further doubts and even makes Cain Tate question his real intentions. Elsewhere, Cain decides to start building a brand new Dingle farm, and his family quickly rally around him to help make the idea a reality. At the same time, Robert is deeply touched when he discovers that Aaron has restored the old Emmerdale farm sign. The gesture marks the beginning of a new chapter for the couple, while also paying tribute to the show's history. Nicknamed the Sugden reboot, the pair begin planning their future together on the farm. However, while both families focus on their new beginnings, Joe is clearly not finished causing trouble. His strange behaviour around Lydia suggests he may have another plan underway. Graham soon confronts Joe and reveals that he already knows about the secret scheme he is working on. Now the question remains, what exactly is Joe planning? Who will be affected by it? And will Graham manage to stop him before it is too late? Viewers will have to watch next week to see how far Joe is willing to go to achieve his goals. New spoilers for Emmerdale reveal major changes at Butler's farm this week as Robert Sugden moves in while Joe Tate quietly prepares another scheme. The big shift comes after Moira Dingle makes the heartbreaking decision to give up the farm she has lived on since arriving in the village in 2009. She chooses to sell the property to the Tate family in order to ease the pressure on her loved ones, while her husband Cain Dingle deals with a diagnosis of prostate cancer. Moira eventually accepts the offer from the Tates, with Joe Tate especially pleased to secure the land. After the deal is completed, Joe appoints Robert Sugden as the new tenant farmer. Robert had previously been involved in framing Moira for a connection to the modern slavery crimes of Lydia Dingle, leaving him feeling conflicted about the situation. Aaron Dingle, who is deeply loyal to Robert, struggles with the fallout after being rejected by his uncle Cain. Despite feeling guilty, Aaron ultimately stands by the man he loves. This week, Cain decides it is time to move his family into the Dingle homestead. Later, when he visits the Woolpack pub, he is in no mood to celebrate, despite being surrounded by relatives. Suspicion grows among the Dingles when Joe suddenly appears and apologizes to Lydia Dingle for his past behavior before offering her a pay rise. His unexpected actions also raise concerns for his step-grandmother Cain Tate. The moment soon arrives for Cain to say goodbye to Butler's farm. Not long after the Dingles leave, Robert moves in, making the transition uncomfortable for everyone involved. Hoping to build some goodwill and also bring in a skilled worker, Robert offers Moira's son, Matty Barton, a job on the farm if he wants it. Whether Matty accepts the offer remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Cain and his sons begin settling into the Dingle homestead. Determined to move forward, Cain decides to create a brand new Dingle farm, with the rest of the family eager to help turn the plan into reality. In a touching moment, Aaron surprises Robert by revealing that he has repaired the old Emmerdale farm sign once used by the Sugden family. The gesture symbolizes a fresh start for the Sugden farming legacy. However, their landlord may have different plans. Joe Tate's suspicious behavior suggests he is preparing another move, and Graham Foster warns him that he already knows about the scheme. The question now is what Joe is planning next, and how it might affect both the Dingles and the Sugdens. Producer Laura Shaw previously explained that the storyline returns the show to its original roots. She noted that the Sugden family were central to the village when the series first began, and Robert's return to farming represents an emotional connection to that history as he tries to make his father proud with Aaron by his side. Sinister Graham Foster is stepping up his plans in Emmerdale as he prepares to take down Joe Tate. Graham has been carefully working toward his goal while living at home farm. He has made it clear that his main reason for staying there is to guide Joe Tate, believing he can convince the young man that Kim's methods are wrong. After dramatically returning from the dead, Graham wasted no time reminding Kim that they are technically still married. Kim quickly suspected that his return to the village was motivated by a desire to claim part of her business empire. Determined to protect herself, she promised to prove that Graham's intentions were selfish so Joe would realize Graham had not come back for him. At the same time, Kim is struggling emotionally with the sudden reappearance of her former partner. In upcoming scenes, she tells Lydia Dingle that she intends to guard her feelings and avoid letting Graham affect her again. However, discussing his return reveals that the situation still leaves her feeling vulnerable. Meanwhile, Joe grows increasingly frustrated with Graham's attempts to turn him against Kim. Despite Joe's annoyance, Graham remains determined and realizes he will need to push harder to convince him that Kim cannot be trusted. The question now is whether Graham will succeed in changing Joe's mind. To bring Kim down, Graham may look for help from someone else in the village. Shortly after he entered the pub to announce his return, Ruby Milligan introduced herself to him. However, Caleb Milligan already knew Graham from the past. Back in 2023, when Caleb attempted to seize control of Home Farm from Kim, it was revealed that he is the son of Frank Tate. Frank died after suffering a heart attack, and Kim famously watched without helping. Caleb believed he deserved a share of Kim's wealth and arrived in the village determined to ruin her life. Later that year, Caleb revealed his identity to Kim and claimed he knew she had allowed Frank to die. When Kim questioned how he discovered such an old secret, Caleb admitted that he had once gotten Graham drunk and learned the full story about Frank's final moments. Because of this shared history, Graham might try to recruit Caleb in his mission against Kim. If Caleb gets involved, it could increase the chances of Joe turning against Kim, especially since Caleb is Joe's uncle. For now, Graham remains patient and focused on his long-term strategy. Whether that patience will ultimately help him defeat Kim and claim what he wants remains to be seen. Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.